Okay, welcome. So my name is Sabine Winters. I'm a philosopher of science, freelance philosopher, and my platform is called Future Based. It is an interdisciplinary philosophy platform, and we have theme-based research. So what we do is we research from different disciplines, themes, very broad themes like expansion of consciousness, scientific imagination, scale, time, and things that are. These are the themes for 22 and 26, very poetic, very broad, but it really helps to create a framework. And within that framework, we have collaborations where we do interdisciplinary research to certain topics. So it's still very vague, but I have some examples. An example is Witchcraft Made Science. The banners are made, by the way, by Dana Dijkgraaf. And this was a collaboration with Lieke Wouters. And we researched how witchcraft or healthcare was the very foundation of modern sciences, from psychology, mysticism, socialism, every aspect. And she held a reading session in Nijmegen and did a podcast series with 4 artists about witchcraft. Another example is Brain Pen Colloquial, a collaboration with philosopher Aidan Leon. He's a philosopher of psychedelics experiences. And in this collaboration, we had 2 artists working with us, Atekla Brenske-Vroonhoven and Azu Aksu, and Aidan Leon, in creating a psychedelic experience without the drugs, by the way. We had a box, and in this box we had experiences like scent. Azu made a video, and we shipped these boxes to everyone who bought a ticket from London to Berlin, and we held a hybrid online experience. So they had to open the box at 15 March, I believe, and then have this experience, a meditational experience, you could say, and then we get it online. So this was the video that Renske made. Yeah, I'll stop it here. As said, inspired by scientific research within the theme of expansion of consciousness, so within a theme of future-based, researched with 2 artists and a philosopher. Aidan wrote his PhD on this specific topic, and we held a meetup, and we have 2 other meetups coming in autumn, which will be focused on dance movements and psychedelic experiences, and food experience, so eating and having different kind of experiences, with a poet that will contribute to this collaboration. So another example is our podcast series, Future Based Beyond Human Relations, which is really focused about the ontology of things and the experience from animals. For example,
what would an animal want on the internet? What would, if we're building an internet for 2 dogs, what would 2 dogs want to do together on the internet? Or would they want to talk to dogs, or would they want to talk to other animals? Or, what would they do together? How would this interaction look? Because animals interact with each other in such a different way than humans do. So our internet is a lot about this at the moment, about this video calling and talking. But, dogs sniff a lot. So would you need like a smellable internet for a dog?
Yeah, I think these are really relevant questions to come further, to think about the future, but also to question the now. Why would we think about an internet for animals? Really to question the futures of the structures of the now. So we do this together. This was Elena Hirschke-Douglas. She's a professor on this specific topic. And the podcast host is Shantana Pai. So we are with a team of about 7 people. And the Time Capsule Project is another project, a very interdisciplinary project, where we ask people to give their input on positive stories about the future. Because when we think about the future, think about a picture of the future for yourself, it will likely get very dystopian very easy. So we want to ask people to think about the future in positive ways, and contribute this to our time capsule online. It can be a voice memo, a story, a drawing, anything. We will keep that for about 10 years, and we will have a meetup in autumn and in 2032 as well. And we will publish a zine with other contributions. So again, imagining the future to critically reflect on the now. If we want this positive future, how do we gear towards this positive future? And intertwining different disciplines, designers, artists, architects, everyone can join in to think about this positive future. And within Future-Based, Scientific Imagination is my own project. The question is, where does fiction meet science? What is the role of imagination in science? I'm researching this topic through film fragments. For example, in autumn we have a collaboration with Focus Theater in Arnhem, where we have 4 film events. Interstellar is one of the films, and then a professor of wormholes will come talk to us about how realistic Interstellar is. So I find it very interesting. And this background image, by the way, is made by Jimmy Balster. So, and last but not least, if you have ideas or collaborations or want a call to action here, please reach out to us. Future-based scientific imagination, or just plain SabineWinters.nl. Thank you.
So my name is María, and I'm also going to make a presentation about my graduation work. I kind of started from this image that I took in summer. A lot of my work is guided by aesthetics, and I just thought it's kind of intuitive aesthetics, so I thought maybe I should get a playhouse. And it also was inspired by the idea of this electrical grid that is under our houses and surrounding our houses, and how our houses are these complex machines with water and cables and outlets, and also with this like magical idea that, but it's also scientific, that every device that is plugged into this electrical grid is emitting like a radio frequency that touches any other nearby conductive bodies, including your physical body, even without physical touch. So I thought it's beautiful to think about electricity and what is happening. So I got this playhouse, and I started turning my house into a machine. I added a fountain in the water tap that is all the time running. I also got to TV, also guided by aesthetics. And I was also printing some 3D models of anime girls, also because I really like anime girls. And I filmed one, and I tried to see how it looks in the TV. And then it was the first video I tried, and then it was also the video I went with, because I really liked how it looked. And then it took a direction of, this is the body of a spirit, and this is a spirit. And because it was a really girly TV, and some of my teachers were like really mentioning the girl aspect of it, I thought, well, I'm maybe gonna make it bleed, so the contrast between like this girly is a bit more. So then I made the TV that bleeds. Yeah. The video is super glitchy. I also have it with my computer. This is how my computer looks at night. And also now, it makes this green glow around the edges and sometimes you have it that a text appears when it's in the background and then it appears on the front. This is because my screen is broken, but then it also looks like my computer is alive and it's doing things. I also got a plasma ball because I always wanted to have one when I was a kid. And I thought, well, I'm graduating, so I just get a plasma ball. And I also really like then researching this plasma ball because it's like you can actually touch electricity with it. And there's also a lot of these fun science experiments in YouTube of if you put a fluorescent tube near a plasma ball, then it lights, or if you put a coin and then a LED, then it also lights. So I thought I can work with this. And also by researching, I found out that these plasma balls also emit radio radiation. So there's also a frequency. And then I thought, oh, this comes back to the TVs. And then I thought, I can broadcast radio through radio frequencies to the TVs and also use the plasma ball to distort the image on the screen, which actually worked. And I was really interested about these frequencies and radio, and yeah. So then I went more into this electromagnetic imaginary spectrum. And then I was also thinking, okay, I want to make installation, but I don't want it to be a static thing. I want to be a sequence of things. So like I want things to just not stay still over time, always the same, but to be like more like a narrative embodied in the work. So the story I thought would be like on a sunny day, then a mist arrives, and with the mist it comes a noise. The noise is kind of like, yeah, they're not having signal. Then the TV would get sick and it would start bleeding. But with the storm also, it would come light, which is the electricity. And then the electricity will come into the house. And the storm would disappear, but the electricity would stay. And then the spirits come guided by the electricity. And they will call you in the middle of the night. And if you pick up the phone, it's like you're welcoming them because they're not going to come if they're not invited. So then you let them come, and then they come inside the house and the TV. And also in my work, I also really like to have these small details, like inside the house there is a microwave and a TV that look like a small version of the two TVs. And also I put it a small figure of the anime girl that is the ghost inside. And I also have a small radio house, which is also kind of like a small scale version of the big house with the antennas. I also really like that in the Netherlands it's Dreft, but in Spain it's Fairy, and it's exactly the same, but it's also completely different. So I like it's kind of from different parallel universes, like in one reality it became Dreft. And so I also included Dreft in my installation, and every hour I switch Dreft and Fairy. So sometimes it's Dreft, sometimes Fairy. And then with the telephone, I was also, a lot of my work came from Marktplaats, from finding objects. I found this image because I wanted to get a telephone for my house of two telephones that look exactly the same. But they're two different things, but they're also the same thing. So I thought it could be really nice to get two telephones, but I could not find. I found, but the person in Marktplaats didn't reply to me, so I couldn't get two telephones, but I have one working telephone. But I also really like this idea of telephone, like it used to be in the past really animistic technology because it would speak, and sometimes you hear someone's voice even they're not there because of the voice messages, or so it's kind of uncanny. There's also a book about it, it's nice. And I also wanted to work with projection mapping in the house, so I can add also like digital effects on the physical world, like glow or a background that is a video. But in the end, it became more like theatrical. So actually, I use the projection mapping more like as a spotlight that comes in the TV and also projecting the ghost outside the TV, and then later through broadcasting it comes inside of the TV, and this is how it looks. Sometimes the exhibition. This also close up with the blood and everything. It gets super messy. This on the night. And one last image, also a bit random. I also added smell to my work because I really like to make like full experience. A friend made the soundtrack and another friend helped me with the lights to make everything. And I also tried to make the smell of storm. So I put it in the smoke machine. So then when the mist arrives, it also smells like, and it was also really fun to make the smell. And yeah, and that is my presentation.
Okay, let's start a conversation very naturally.
Yeah, but do we say hi to each other? No.
No, hi.
Hi.
I just watched your work and your presentation,
Yeah.
and what really struck me that the televisions were like in a half circle, almost like they were having a conversation together, and then one started bleeding. I was wondering, did you really want to like express the secret life almost about the electric devices? It was almost like they were talking to each other.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really like this half circle, kind of like if they were all coming together around something, around this ball that it's off now, but like this was some sort of like a divination ball, but of electricity, you know, like the plasma ball. And they do come there to like get answers, or it's kind of about this unconscious, the unconscious side of electronic devices, the kind of magical, unknown. But does this reply the question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I think that like you were also referring to ghosts and spirits and the dreft and the fairy. That was also very uncanny. Is this something that interests you, like the spiritual side of electricity?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in like the spiritual side of everything, and maybe this was just a connection I could see with electricity, but I feel always electricity has seen as this life bringing death. Like it's really also like through science, or like how people, when they start experimenting with electricity, they also really related to it as this really magical, mysterious thing, like, or how they would explain like these negative and positive forces that move really fast. So I also feel like electricity can be a really good medium to project these ideas about spirits, or that's the unseen things that are happening in our world.
Yeah, and how do you like the unseen and the spirits? How does this come back in this presentation? You like, what do we see here?
Well, there is a lot of things everything is kind of connected together, but also separate. So if you ring the doorbell, it communicates to the telephone, and it makes the telephone ring. Like it goes to a raspberry, and then it goes from the raspberry to like a data call center, and then they call the telephone, and if you pick up the telephone, then the raspberry detects that, and then it starts broadcasting to the small radio, and then it tells a story about the spirits. Or there is also a security camera that is like filming the house, and it's being broadcasted here and here to these two TVs. But there's also from the control room another video being broadcasted to this TV in the same channel. So they are fighting for the TV.
Oh, that's what I saw. Okay,
yeah. So if you come closer, your body also acts as an antenna for these radio frequencies. So you get different images depending where you are or how close you are, if you're blocking one or if you're amplifying one. Or you also have like the water in the tap flowing. You can turn that with the light switch I don't know if that's really like mysterious, but it's kind of these random things that seem to be related, but they're not, but they are. You know what I mean?
Not exactly. They are related, but they are not. Like, is everything related to each other in some kind of way?
Normally in houses, I think things are separated. You know what I mean? Like, the tap is the tap and the light is the light.
Yes.
But I like to make these weird jumps of, or maybe the light can turn on the water, or maybe the doorbell rings the door, like the telephone.
Yeah.
To make feel like they're all actually in communication with each other through these electromagnetic fields they have. They can talk to each other separately, even if we don't see it.
Yeah. So this was also something that I read, an imaginary bridge between life and death, you wrote. What do you mean with this imaginary bridge?
Well, I think it's imaginary, but it's also real. Like, people project fantasies of bringing life through electricity, like in Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Or, just like applying electricity to something and making it alive again.
Mm-hmm.
Because people, maybe you don't know why we are, what makes us alive or like dead, or but it also is real, I think. Like, scientists also with the Dolly, the cloned sheep, she was also like cloned using like cells, and they were sparked with electricity, and that they used electricity to join the cells. So it's also actually a tool to bring life.
Yeah.
But people really fantasize about it, even they don't know. You don't know, like, you don't need to know how science works to feel how it works, kind of, you know? So I feel like people have this ability to know this force, that this electricity is able to bring something magical, and it does, even you don't know how.
Yeah, yeah. And we sit here, and there's technology and electricity all around us.
Yeah.
And even at night, your computer, you told in the presentation that your screen is broken, and that it almost comes to life at night. But what do you think, like, all these electricity, because it communicates to us as well, does it have some kind of influence on our being, maybe?
I think so. I mean, I don't know.
You don't know?
For sure not, but like, I think these are like really subtle things that you really need to be like silent or really still, kind of like really come back to yourself, and so you're complete aware of your body and what is happening around it. But like, I really feel like, of course, it has impact if you're in a room with devices emitting, or people say that also, like, do not watch your computer at night before going to sleep. Or, I mean, I do really notice the sound of electricity sometimes, or I don't know.
You can sometimes hear your television buzzing, right? Yeah. Okay. And let's see. Oh yeah, this was something I was very interested in. You were talking about similar or different realities, like the two telephones, or the draft again, and the TV screens, little TV screens in the house. How do you create, and why do you want to create these alternative realities?
I don't know.
It's a difficult question.
It was, it's also an accident, because like, I bought the microwave, like a lot of objects people gave to me, like, oh, this, your work, I feel this would fit in your work. And then they gave the radio or the small TV. So, and then this one I saw in a second-hand store, and I thought maybe I'm gonna buy it, and then I put it in the house, and then I realized it's the same. With the drift, I just thought it was funny. I mean, I do feel there is like, we live in like a 5-dimensional world. I don't know how.
I have no idea how many.
I also don't know, but I do think there is like many realities together, and you can, if you learn how to do it, you can jump from them and create your own reality. starting from them. Like, there is somewhere in your future, like, you have all the possible futures.
Yes.
And you can connect to them or jump to them. You can also communicate to your past self from the future if you imagine. I don't know, I do like, it's more like I like these things and I have them in the back of my head, and then I see this, drift fighting, and then I like how it looks aesthetically, and I can project these ideas that are really hard for me to express in these objects.
Yeah, it's very philosophical what you're saying about possible futures and possible worlds. And I think I get it because it's like you've been aesthetically driven, you said also in your work, but then it's like almost a coincidence, and it helps you expressing like the possible futures or possible world in your head.
Yeah, exactly, because I really had trouble when I started making art with thinking of something and materializing it, because ideas are just super complex. It's really hard. You always get something lost when you try to translate it into like a object or a installation. But then I thought, for me, it's really easy to intuitively make stuff with my body. Like, I make a sculpture with my hands, or I make a video because I like this, how it looks. And then later I look at it, and then of course the ideas that are in my head are somehow influencing this in a more unconscious way. And later when I look at it, they can come up again, and I can put them back there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of rebirth of like making and then thinking about it.
Making it.
Yeah.
The electricity is like a little bit the same. It's like a super complex, very big topic, and then it comes back in this very everyday stuff that you collected and put together.
Yeah.
Is this something that you want to explore more in your being an artist?
Well, I'm not sure what I want to do, because it's a bit intuitive. Playing, I see making art as playing, but I really like electricity since like I'm really young. Like, I don't know, because my dad is also like an electrical engineer, or he used to be. Now he's like a programmer. And it's funny, I kind of went into interaction design because of the programming side with art, but I ended up making more like electrical installation, because I really like to make the electrical installation of the house. I think it's really fun. How it works, because people also don't really know how electricity works, but they know how it behaves, so they can use it, but they don't really understand it. I don't know.
Has your dad seen the work? Your dad, has he seen the...
Not yet.
Not
they
yet.
Come today.
Oh, they come
because
today.
They come from Spain.
Okay. I'm really curious, but he knows about the project, I guess.
Yeah. But it's also the first time they see something I've made, actually. So I'm curious.
So it's a really like
day
for you. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's really nice. So your dad like really works in this field, and you have the artistic expression of it almost.
And also my mom is a cleaner.
Okay.
And I spent like half of my time cleaning this installation because it's all the time flooding. So I feel like I combined my parents' job, like electricity and cleaning.
There you go, combining your two realities of your parents into one work. Okay, that's really nice. Is this something that, speaking about possible realities and possible futures, what would be your ideal project? You said I want to work intuitively, but if you think about your ideal work, what would be?
Well, I'm quite happy with this work, but I'm more happy about the methodology of rediscovering how I can find ways of making or relating to work than about the end product a bit. So I think it's more like, because I said I really like to play, so whatever feels fun to play with in the moment, but I really like to explore I really like to work with my body, like think through your body in the way you make. And I also just feel like, whatever comes, it comes, and I play with it. Kind of this also magician like way of thinking of getting the reality and transforming it. So I also really like working with found things instead of creating something from nothing. Like, oh, I have this vision and I want to bring it into the world. It's more like, I will see what's there and I will take it in, make something with it and put it out, you know?
That's fantastic. It's really wonderful.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Okay. Nice. It's a really nice approach.
Thanks.
Okay.